Hey folks, welcome back to the tree job. We brought the McKissick. We're gonna give this thing a run. This is the first time we did the service on the last video. We're gonna actually see if this thing works. So let's go ahead, start it up and see if it works. You and me are both gonna witness this together. We serviced it, gassed it up. Let it run for a second before we start wailing on it. Alright folks, here we go. This is the first time I've actually ran any limbs through it. We serviced it last video, so yeah, we're just going to kind of see what it does here. There's a big learning curve, which I'll touch on in a little bit, so let me just show you. These are legit the first limbs we ran through it. So let's tune you guys in now, and then we'll reconvene. Alright folks, so we're about a legit minute in, and I've already discovered that you need to have, it's a 4-inch chipper, and it's a quote-unquote gravity fed, but as you can see now, I'm loading the really small sub 1-inch stuff into the hopper here, and it's absolutely just destroying it. So what I kind of realized as I was going is that the 4-inch, the hopper on the side there will obviously suck in all the, straight, quote-unquote straight limb wood, but the problem was, as you noticed in the beginning, when you get up to the crown of the branch where everything is kind of poking out, it has a hard time feeding itself down through the hopper. So if you watch here, it goes to a certain point, and then once you hit that big crown, you have to really kind of slam it, like right where I'm at now. It won't naturally feed all the way down, and obviously it's about a 3-foot run, so you can kind of use another second branch to force it in, but it kind of just piles up. So what I ended up doing was I get to a certain point, as you can see here, and then I would take it out and just watch. Right through the shredder there. So the shredder actually works the balls. The shredder is a really awesome part of this. So let's run this branch again. See the good clean wood? No problem, sucks it right in. Get to a certain point where you get to the top, you're left with all the brush, right into the chipper. So that's literally what I ended up doing. And then I flipped up the cover there, as you just saw, just to make life easier. I wasn't really worried about anything spitting back out. That wasn't a concern I had. So let's tune back in. So right here is a perfect limb. This is how I would limb trees going forward. Really smooth shaft of the tree there, and most of it goes through. And then I'm pretty sure, yeah, I pull it out. And no, actually, that one actually went pretty good. But as you can see here, the big fluffy crowns, like the crotch where my left hand just was, that's what gets hung up in the machine. So it just takes a little bit more time to prep the limb. Now that I know what I know as far as how it runs, going forward, I would definitely limb the tree a little bit differently. I would basically strip the limb completely clean. See, all this small stuff could technically go through the hopper, but what I would do going forward for the next tree is probably strip the limb completely and then put all the small brush literally right through the top hopper, because that top hopper cranks. The shredder part, it's listed for sub 1 inch material, and it absolutely pulverizes it. So as you can see here, whoo, toss it in, goes right out. And the nice part about this, obviously it doesn't have a chute, so it leaves a pile there, but it's a pretty fine wood chip coming out of there. I mean, it's blending right in, and all we're gonna do is just shovel it and kind of kick it right into the woods here. But overall, it's a step above our Echo. Is it an auto feed, Bandit with a diesel motor on it? Of course not. But we gotta crawl before we can walk. So I'm happy with it. I mean, for $1,100 for what we paid for it, considering we sold our Echo for $800, so we're into this technically for $300 more. It's definitely an upgrade. So Homestead Jim is on his way. I do a little cutting, and he does some chipping. He obviously, first time he's using it as well, so he's going through a little learning curve too. So that you'll see that coming up next. But now that Dad and I have both worked with this machine going forward on a job that needed to be chipped, we would absolutely roll right through it. I made the mistake of taking down this whole tree without my dad here, without him moving limbs and processing stuff, so we were left with an absolute mess. I didn't film a lot of it because we've been on this job. We still have the stem to do. By the time you guys see this, we'll hopefully be done, but we still have the giant stem to take care of. But we have about 10 hours total on this site. I have about 6 of them. Dad has helped me for 4. So we got some hours into this job, but it was an experiment. I wanted to see how this chipper worked. I really wanted to climb that style tree to get the, expertise, to get the knowledge, the skill development. So there's no issues, folks. We're above ground. We're having fun. We're chipping stuff. We're cutting stuff. Can't complain. So I think the next clip coming up is when Pops is here. So let's go roll right into that. Let me show you in about a few seconds. I'll tell you when. We had about a 2-inch or so piece, no limbs on it. Let's see how this does right now. You see, the gravity feed part actually worked when we had a smooth limb. It's the canopies at the top, the bushy part, that prevented from self-feeding. But as you guys just saw, that very last straight, smooth piece of wood gravity fed all the way through. So can't complain there. So I'm kind of learning as I go. As I said, the day escalated. You could see I'm taking a little bit more time to dress the limbs, if you will. There's a lot more clean wood at the bottom compared to what I originally started with. So right here, that's how, right there, that limb is how I should limb it. Basically strip the whole branch of the limbs, put the very small sections through the top hopper, and the smooth, clean bore stuff through the sides of it. There's all that green canopy stuff there. It goes through, but it gets tricky, like I said. But I like the machine. It started smoking a little bit. I don't know if I maybe put some oil in it. I did some research. These Vanguard motors allegedly, yeah, you can see the smoke right there. Allegedly, these Vanguard motors had breather issues. Cast iron bore. We'll check compression on it. We'll do a few other things, but a few times it was really smoking. So we have some kinks to get out. But other than that, I think it's working. So the clip with Homestead Jim, let's cut forward to that now, and then we'll wrap up. So Dad finally showed up here, and as you can see, he's kind of dealing with the same quirks, literally the same learning curve I dealt with prior. So this is how we should have done the job. We should have limbed the tree, cut some of the tree down, and processed as we went instead of dealing with this huge absolute mess that we had. I would never do a tree job like this again. This tree had so much canopy, so many limbs on it. It was incredible. So all I'm doing here is feeding Dad, obviously, the butts of the limb here. Then we're working. Again, we spent 4 hours. That machine ran for 4 hours straight. And I went through 2 saws, cutting, brushing, limbing. It was quite the day. I definitely underbid the job, which we could talk about in the next video. We still have the stem of the tree here. I only had a couple hour window for 2 consecutive days while the boys were in school. So that's kind of why I did it this way. I put the cart before the horse. I should have waited. I could have got this job done in a day with Dad, with the chipper. If I was climbing, he could have been limbing, doing the groundwork, running stuff through the chipper as I was cutting branches down. But it's okay. I mean, you live and you learn. You make hay when the sun shines. So no complaints. Dad got a kick out of the chipper. He liked the hopper idea too. Because as you can see here, he's got a handful of just junk. And then that top hopper absolutely screws through sub, 1-inch material. So giving Dad a little bit bushier pieces than I like, so he's struggling. So again, it's all in the prep work. If you prep the limbs right, it seemed to go pretty quickly. So that's all I got for you folks. God bless. Thanks for watching. Like I always say, we will see you guys out in the woods.